Welcome to the tech video tutorial about Scratch. My name is Sarah Bettencourt, and I am a recent graduate from the Multiple Subject Credential Program at Cal Poly. First, I'd like to share an overview of Scratch. Scratch is an online coding platform for students beginning in grades 3 through 12 to learn and understand the basics of coding. There's also another program called Scratch Junior, which works better for students under 3rd grade. It is an easy and simple tool that can be used to program your own interactive stories, games, animations, and more. Scratch is great to use with students because not only do they learn how to code, but they also build essential skills such as how to think creatively, reason systematically, and work collaboratively. Not only is Scratch used for students to learn how to code, it can also be used by teachers to create interactive or engaging lessons and activities. Scratch is a great platform to use with students because you can create your own classroom where you can see your students' work and the students can see the work of their classmates. By creating a classroom on Scratch, you and your students can comment on and like projects that the class has created. Additionally, Scratch is also a great way to integrate other content areas such as math, language arts, science, and social justice. Now I'm going to show you a quick demonstration on how to request a teacher account on Scratch. When on the Scratch homepage, click on the round blue button on the middle of the screen that says For Educators. On this page, you'll find resources for teachers and students on how to effectively implement Scratch into the classroom. Now, click on the round purple button on the top middle of the page that says Teacher Accounts. Then you'll click Request Account. From here, you'll follow the steps to create a username and password, put in some personal information such as your birth month, year, and first and last name, and finally, all of your school information and a description of how you plan to use Scratch with your classroom. After your teacher account is approved and you log in, your dashboard should look like this. From here, you can click on My Classes to create a class and invite your students using a class code. This is a class that I have created, and if I would like to see the students in my class, I could click Students, and they would all show up here if I had students loaded into my class. There's two ways you can load students into your class. One way is by creating a student sign-up link, which generates a unique URL to send out to each student where they can then be taken through the steps to create their own account. Or you can create usernames and passwords for all of the students in your class and upload it here, which will generate accounts for all your students. For more resources for educators, Scratch has a complete educator portal called Scratch Ed that is 100% designed and made for teachers. This extension contains thousands of resources such as prepared teaching materials and lessons, stories from educators that have used Scratch, and example projects that directly connect to curriculum. All of these resources can be accessed by going to scratched.gse.harvard.edu. And Scratch Ed looks like this when you pull it up, and the tabs at the top, you can click Resources, and here you'll find 1,027 resources of how to use Scratch in your classroom that connects to curriculum. Now I'd like to share a quick example of using Scratch in the classroom. I used Scratch this past spring while student teaching in a 4th grade class via distance learning. I noticed a lot of the students were not turning in assignments relating to their core content areas, and I had learned about and used Scratch in an undergraduate liberal studies course. So I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to introduce my students to coding in order to keep them engaged and excited to continue learning while in distance learning. Because it was distance learning, I had to create several tutorial videos using Screencastify in addition to live demonstrations to teach the students how to create their codes and how to navigate the site. It was a bit intensive to get all the students set up with their own accounts, but only because I was not there in person to help them. Regardless, students were able to set up their accounts and learn how to use the basic functions of coding to create their own projects. I did not give my students a specific assignment due to time constraints. However, students took it upon themselves to create mini stories and themes throughout their codes. Scratch can easily be connected to NGSS and Common Core state standards. For example, students can create coding projects to explain scientific processes, stories that include plot structure, etc. Now I'll show you what the coding project page looks like on Scratch. On the right-hand side, you'll see the visual representation of your code. The character, also known as a sprite, is shown as a cat, but can be changed using the features at the bottom of the screen. In the middle, you'll find a blank space, and this is where your code will go. On the left, you will find the code building blocks, which is what you will drag to this middle area, linking the blocks together to create your code. Now I will show you a simple code I created to demonstrate to my 4th graders. The code in the middle is going to tell the sprite what to do. So when this sprite is clicked, all of these things will happen. Let's run the code. Thank you for learning about Scratch. I hope you've enjoyed this technology video tutorial from the School of Education at Cal Poly.